Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jeff Fagan. I'm a filmmaker and director of photography based in South Florida. This is a place where I post some of my work, behind the scenes of that work, talk a little bit about gear, and in this case, do some live videos. So I know it's been a little while since I've done the live videos. If you are here and catching me live, be sure to add to the discussion. Let me know you hear me in the comments and I'll get to them as I see them. But the subject for today's video is something that I kind of stumbled upon as I pre-ordered or ordered a camera that's coming out soon, and there'll be more about that on the channel, but some of the media I can use with it, some of it I can't, but it led me to go through using it with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. So I've got all the media right here, and we're gonna jump into it, and if you're watching the recording after we've been live, I'll try to do the bookmarks so you can kind of see on the timeline which card I'm speaking about, and also all the cards I'm chatting about are in the description below, except for one that is discontinued. And some of you old pocket camera users may know which card that's going to be off the bat. But without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to start off with, the cards that are compatible with every frame rate first, and then kind of go down and explain why I use which cards in certain situations. And again, this is all with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, but it can be used with the Pocket Cinema Camera 6K. So first off the bat, I've got this Sony 128 gigabyte CFast 2.0 card. And this pretty much works with every single frame rate that the Pocket 4K offers. We have used it with the 6K, although we only tested it in 24p, and it didn't give us any issue in any of the 24 or really 23.98 frame rates, resolutions, compressions. So we didn't test it in 50p, but we didn't really need to. But again, for the 4K, this worked with everything. It's really great. And really the main reason we use this is even though it's 128 gigs, it's great for gimbal work. Again, it works with the 60p. So I could switch between, overcranking, shooting at 60, shooting at 24. I don't really have to worry about it with this card. Again, it doesn't last you all day, but for gimbal work, it's really great. And then in addition with this card, I do tend to pair it with this 64 gigabyte Delkin, sorry for tapping that, 64 gigabyte Delkin SD V90. It is only 64 gigs, but when I'm doing gimbal work, this gives me close to 200 gigs, which is enough between, when I'm using the gimbal. Right now I'm using the Weebill S just because it is compatible with using the focus control. And I did another video. I'll put that in, I'll put it on the card after the live video is done. But this is the great little combo I use when doing gimbal recording because it gives me enough recording space. And for 24p, this all works great. For a lot of the 60p recording for in 4K, it does work. I think once I got to 5:1 and 3:1 in Q0 compression, it did not work with this V90, which is again where the CFast definitely shines. It works with all of the recording modes on the Pocket 4K. And then I'm going to move to the other SD cards I use and explain why I use them. And then I'm going to show some of the other recording media options I use. So first, we're going to go on this Lexar 128 gigabyte card. It's really a V60 card. This was a transplant from when I used to shoot with the GH5, and it worked really great with the 400 megabit mode. And this card pretty much works with, well, it works with all of the 24p modes, all the 30p modes, works with some of the 60p modes in B-RAW and ProRes. And now I do want to mention when I was talking about these cards, that was all in B-RAW, the frame rates I was talking about. It does work. This works with everything in ProRes. This works with, I believe it actually works with 60p ProRes up to HQ. It just doesn't work with the B-RAW 60p for some reason in all of the compressions. Like I said, Q0, 3:1, 5:1 didn't really work that well. But with this, ProRes works great. 60p ProRes works great. Although I didn't do HQ, I've been shooting up to 422 and it's been fine. B-RAW, I've been able to do up to 5:1 in 24, 23.98, but I have not been able to do 3:1. 60 frames per second does not work in this card as far as B-RAW. In ProRes, it seemed to be okay, getting up to 422. So this has been a kind of a clutch card when I run out of space and I need a card and I can't use something like an external drive. this has come into play. Another one of those kind of clutch cards is something that old Pocket Cinema camera users will be used to. And this is the 95 megabit or 95 megabyte per second S64 gigabyte SanDisk SD card that we pretty much had to use with the original Pocket, because this was one of the few cards that you can record RAW to without any kind of frames skipping or any kind of issues. But the issue with this card is they're not made anymore. Angelbird is actually doing a program where if you email them, you can actually get them to custom make you one of these cards if you need it for the old Pocket Cinema camera. I have an old Pocket Cinema camera, which is why I still have this, but it does work in my 4K. So it's a nice little safety in case I need it, but it's only 64 gigs. So there's only so far you can go with that card. So now that we've gone through the SD cards, the CFast cards that I have also a few models of this and a 32 gigabyte card, which 32 gigabyte card almost does nothing. It's almost like an emergency card. But the 128 gig seems to be a safe, sweet spot as far as a card on the 4K. So let's move into the other two devices I use. So one is going to be similar to what is used traditionally through the USB-C port. And this is the SSD that I use. It is the Ravpower 512 gigabyte SSD. Works really great. Works with all the recording modes on the 4K. Worked with all of the 24p modes on the 6K. I did not try 50 frames, but I would assume it works. The transfer rate is fast enough. And I like it. It's really not any better than the Samsung T5, to be completely honest. It's about the same. The price is pretty much about the same. I just like it because of its form factor. I don't have to just use it as, a pocket, recording device. I can use it for anything. I bring it with me if I need to transfer footage. It's just really fast. It's really compact, fits in my pocket. It's kind of like a little thumb drive, and it's really great. So I do highly recommend it, and it's also easy to mount. Even though they don't make custom mounts, it seems like the only mount that anyone's making is the Samsung T5 mount, and I get it. Great SSD, but this one does work. It's going for about 85 bucks. Links in the description below if you need something like this. Again, it's not any better than the T5. I just like the form factor of this card. The other thing I've been using, and I've been using this since I pretty much originally got the Pocket 4K, I've been using actual SSD cards. So if you have an actual SSD card and you have the connector that goes from the SSD to USB-C, you can record straight to actual SSD cards. You can technically record to hard drives, although I wouldn't recommend that because that's tape. But it does work, and I use these in a pinch. I pretty much only use them in scenarios, documentary scenarios, where the tripod's locked down, camera's not moving, and I need a lot of space. Well, before SSDs were big, or easy to get and as cheap as they are now, these SSDs were really cheap and easy to use. And I'm also popped them back out for the camera that I ordered, because one of the things that I did order that I don't have today to discuss, but I do want to do a video on it when it comes in. I got a CFast to SSD module. So you pop this SSD into the module, and then it has a little cable going out that goes into a dummy a dummy CFast card, which is really cool. They've been used on the Ursa Minis for a while, and they've actually been used on the Alexas, the Arri Alexas that use CFast 2.0. So I'm interested to test these out and see how they work. I'm going to try it on the Pocket just because, but I mean, really, unless you need the USB-C port for something, you're better off using it through the USB-C, just because then you have to have your little you have to have your compartment open when you're using that CFast adapter. But I have seen videos where someone's using this on a Weebill S, and they decided to use that actual CFast to SSD adapter so they could have a lot of recording time and use the USB-C in order to record to the drives. So I see we got some people in viewing. So thank you guys for watching live. If you guys have any questions, please hit me up in the chat. I know it's been a while since I have gone live. I basically for work, I've been doing live streaming 5 days a week every day, but on the Jazz Is channel for Jazz Is magazine. So it's taken away a lot of the time I've had to do live streams on this channel. and a lot of the time from even doing regular videos. But now that we are in a regular schedule, we know when we're doing them, they're later in the day. I now have time to come back, redo, do more videos for the channel, and also do a lot more live streams now that this whole live stream is set up again. I've got the cameras and the audio and everything set up. I'm actually very excited. I'm very excited to do more videos and live streams on the camera coming up next, the Komodo. Oh, secret's out. But I'm still with the Komodo coming in. The Pocket 4K is an amazing deal. It's an amazing camera. I've actually used it here in the studio with this 50 mil. It's not the best lens, but again, it's really cheap for what it is. Pretty much most of the time use it with a Sigma 18 to 35, depending on what I'm doing, sometimes the 70 to 200 2.8, and the Tokina 11 to 16, which we're actually using for this video. I love the looks out of all those lenses, and it kind of covers generally what you need through having zooms. Obviously, they're not primes, but they are the best zoom lenses, in my opinion, that I've used as far as still zoom lenses. So that's pretty much going to be it for this video. I wanted to keep it short, sweet, say hey to the YouTube fam. Thank you guys for watching. And again, you know, more live videos coming soon. If you're watching this video after it's been live, you know, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get that notification of when I do go live. And if you have any questions about these cards that got all these little cards here, if you have any questions that I didn't cover in the video, hit me up in the comments below, and I will get to them after this video has aired. Again, this was just a little quick video to show you guys what I am using with the Pocket 4K, what has worked, what has not worked. As far as not working, any cards that I have used that don't work have pretty much been third-party cards from the no-name brands. You know, all of these are relatively named brands. I would say Delkin's probably the least named brand, but they're definitely a much bigger company now than when they first started, or at least first started coming out with these fast cards a few years ago. And they've been very reliable for me. I've seen mixed results from other people, but as far as my personal experience, been very good for the money. I think this card is like 40 bucks. But again, it's only 64 gigs. I would really stretch for that 128. And if you go for the CFast, it is usable on multiple cameras, multiple platforms, and between the 4K and the 6K, you're covered. So again, that's going to be it for this video. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Oh, yep, I'm gonna feature you just because you're in here live. Thank you, Slow Food Show, for checking on in. Hope you guys enjoyed the content, and as I was ending out this video, thank you guys for joining, and I will see you next time on the channel.